Geography 8, Book The Environment of Pakistan, Lesson number 3, Chapter 3, Natural Resources and Issue of Water Sustainability. Assalamu alaikum. I'm Saima Iqbal, your geography teacher. Learning objectives. By the end of lesson, students will understand the irrigation methods, Indus Water Treaty, and importance of large and small dams. So dear students, subtopics which we are going to discuss to study today are development of irrigation system in Pakistan, Indus Water Treaty, small and large dams. Pages would be 55 till 61. So dear students, we will discuss now development of the irrigation system in Pakistan. The irrigation system in Pakistan has developed from a conventional well system. It means we were having wells and we extract water for irrigation from them, and up to now we are having in present day perennial canals which are having water for whole year and tube wells. A brief description of the conventional and modern method of irrigation we will study today. Conventional system include Shaduf, Charsa, Persian wheel, Kares, inundation canals and tank irrigation. In Shaduf system, water is drawn from a shallow well or river organized by a bucket, which is attached to a wooden pole on one side. On other side there is a heavy weight or rock. You can see in the figure. A small area can be irrigated by this method. In some of the places also use of pulley to take water out from a well. In Charsa method, animal power is used to pull water from the well. In this method, a bucket is suspended as you can see in the figure by a rope, and with the help of animals, people take out water from slightly deep wells. The Charsa system is not used by many farmers now. Persian wheel. It is a system of continuous supply of water, as you can see in the figure, and irrigates a comparatively large area. In this method, a Persian wheel of more or less traditional design, powered by a blindfolded bullock, it turns a horizontal wooden wheel geared to a vertical wheel at the distant end of the shaft. This carries the vertical metal wheel in the left foreground, to which is attached a chain of earthenware pot or a bucket. The pot raises water from the well and spill their content into the channel that lead to the fields. Kares system, you have studied already about that is in Balochistan. Balochistan is arid and semi-arid region. So Kares is a horizontal underground canal in foothills that bring out underground water to surface. The underground canal may be several kilometers long. It is dug by a group of people who then share the water for irrigation their crops. Vertical shafts are also dug down to the canal so that it can be cleared and repaired to prevent any blockage in flow of water. Or you know that this is an old system practiced only in Balochistan, where water is scarce and the evaporation rate is high. By building the canal, underground evaporation losses are minimized and water is used for cultivation. Inundation canals. These are long canals which are taken from large rivers and are called inundation canals. They receive water when the river is high enough, and especially when it is in flood. So these canals have water during flood season. Tank irrigation. Tank irrigation is practiced by constructing mud banks across small streams to make a small reservoirs which collect excess water during the rainy season. Use and effectiveness of conventional method of irrigation. Whether these methods are effective or not, let's discuss this. Conventional methods of irrigation have been used for centuries. On small scale subsistence farms, the charsa or Persian wheel are still in use. Persian wheel in local language is known as rahat. On large farms, there has been a shift from conventional to modern methods. Conventional methods have some disadvantages. They irrigate limited areas of land as only small amount of water can be obtained, require manual labor or animals, and are more time consuming, are difficult to build, maintain and use, like carriage system. Inundation canal only flow during rainy periods or when water from melting snow and ice enters the rivers. Modern system consists of perennial canals, tube wells and sprinklers. Perennial canals means canals which have water throughout the year. They are linked to dams and barrages to provide water throughout the year, and they irrigate a vast area. In figure you can see that there is a water reservoir and there are channels which drawn out from major rivers and reservoir. Perennial canals from reservoirs of dams and from barrages are exclusively used in Pakistan. Initial cost is high, but water is made available throughout the year, and the schemes may provide for water flood control and HEP development. Students, you may have seen tube wells in pools or in some farmhouses. Tube wells have diesel or electrically operated pumps that can raise water from the depth of 92 meters, that is equivalent to almost 300 feet or more, to irrigate farms of more than 1000 hectares. Tube wells also help to lower the water table, thereby protecting the land from waterlogging and salinity. This waterlogging and salinity are two land diseases, soil diseases we will discuss next. Sprinklers or spray irrigation. This is latest method for irrigation. Sprinklers are connected to public water supply pipes. They are centrally placed in field to water the plants. You can see a single sprinkler in a picture, and in other figure you can see that how they are working. They are used mainly in orchards and market gardening. Agricultural crops are rarely irrigated with this method because it is far more expensive for the farmer due to its capital cost than canal irrigation and tube wells. However, it does use water much more efficiently with much less water wastage. It also prevents waterlogging and salinity. It means that it provides only required water to the plant, and wastage of water is reduced with the help of this method. Tankers collect water from the ponds and lakes and provide it to households and field in case of emergency. In many cities of Pakistan, tankers are supplying water for drinking and household. This method is very expensive and is rarely used for irrigation. Indus Water Treaty. In 1947, with the creation of Pakistan, the province of Punjab was also divided into East and West Punjab. The headworks of canals of Satluj and Ravi remained in India as the share of India, whilst their drained area became part of Pakistan. It means the canals were in India and the lands which were irrigated by them was now in Pakistan. In 1948, India threatened to stop the water supply from these headworks. That would have endangered the prosperity of Indus Plain. As you know that we are having almost 5 rivers in Punjab, Ravi, Jhelum, Chenab and Satluj. Beas is in India. The water dispute was eventually resolved through the mediation of the World Bank. In September 1960, an agreement was signed that is known as the Indus Water Treaty. Under this treaty, Pakistan received exclusive rights to the waters of three western rivers, Indus, Jhelum and Chenab, and India to that of eastern rivers, Ravi, Beas and Satluj. During the transitional period till 1973, India agreed to supply water to Pakistan. During the transitional period, Pakistan was expected to construct 2 storage dams, 5 barrages, 1 gated siphon and 8 link canals. The construction cost was to be met by Australia, Canada, USA, UK, West Germany and New Zealand. The Indus Water Treaty also guaranteed 10 years of uninterrupted water supply period, during which Pakistan was to build huge dams financed partly by long-term World Bank loans, UK and USA aid and compensation money from India. The remaining cost or expenditures was to be met by Pakistan. WAPDA, Water and Power Development Authority of Pakistan, was entrusted to supervise the projects. The dams and barrages and link canals were built under this agreement. Dams were Mangla Dam and Tarbela Dam. Under Indus Water Treaty, 4 barrage, Chishma Barrage, Rasool Barrage, Marala Barrage and Kadabad Barrage were built. 10 link canals, Marala Ravi, Bambawala Ravi Bediyan Dipalpur, Rasool Kadrabad, Kadrabad Baloki, Baloki Suleiman Ki 1, Baloki Suleiman Ki 2, Chishma Jhelum, Trimu Sidnai, Tonsa Panjnat, Sidnai Melsi Bahawal. The Mangla Dam is located on River Jhelum. It is one of the longest 3100 meter at the crest earth-filled dam in the world. It is multi-purpose project designed to control and conserve the flood waters of the Jhelum for irrigation and to generate hydroelectric power. The Mangla Lake, besides serving as the reservoir of the dam, has also been developed as a fishing center and a tourist resort. Tarbela Dam. Tarbela Dam is built on Indus at Bara near the village of Tarbela. It is about 30 km from town of Attock. When the Indus leaves the Himalayan foothills and enters the Potwar Plateau, the water is stored in the reservoir of the dam. It is 143 meter high. It has reservoir area of 243 square